everyone, and welcome back to our Reflection Fridays live with JD Miller. Whether you are joining us on Facebook or our YouTube channel, we are so excited to have you all here. We have a great show tonight. It's a little bit different. JD will be doing a lot of painting, and we have a lovely interview with one of our artists, Matissa Tash. She does the punk Buddhas here. So we're very excited to show that to you. So thank you all for joining us. I hope you all have your drinks ready with you, sitting near. Without further ado, let's welcome the star of the show, Mr. JD Miller.
Yay! Oh, excellent. Grace, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited about tonight.
Is her mic loud enough? I sound really loud compared to her. We're going to get this adjusted, but guess what?
What?
So tonight, normally have the Dallas Ballet. We've got Kristen Rivas, our director, out roving, doing interviews with you.
Yes.
Got all kinds of things. So tonight we're doing a little different. I'm going to paint a little more.
Which we love that.
Which you do love that?
I do love that.
That's good.
And I think all of our audience loves that.
I like that an assistant director, that you love what I paint. So yeah, we'll do that, and then about probably, I don't know, when I feel like taking a break in a little bit, we'll record the interview you did a couple of days ago.
Which was great.
It was amazing.
It was such a fun interview to do. It's always fun to interview one of our artists. A few weeks ago we did Brandon Boyd, but this time we did Matisse, and she does the fantastic, gorgeously, beautifully sparkle the punk Buddhas, which many of you will see when we do the interview, but
that's right, the punk Buddhas.
Such a treasure to look at.
And the elephants, and then she's coming out soon with butterflies.
I know, which she's never done before, so that's super exciting.
Be cool, yeah.
It's super exciting.
So what else? What else? Anything else before I get started? Anything on your mind you want to just tell the world? I know we've been doing a lot at the National Hotel.
We have been doing a lot at the National Hotel. We just installed some new artworks.
And you're one of the models. You're going to be on the new, all the promo things, aren't you?
I'm going to be all over.
Yes, you
can't
are.
escape.
Yeah.
No, but it was really exciting. We've had a lot of our artworks there, both Yarrow and Tyler Shields. Top secret though, so it'll be exciting to reveal once we show it all.
We also have Leah Fisher.
Yes.
We have Brandon Boyd. We're well represented.
And we also have Matisse.
And Matisse.
Yes.
That's right, the huge Matryoshka doll.
Yes, the huge Matryoshka dolls.
Matisse, if you're listening, we haven't even told you, we sold the big Matryoshka doll.
The big Chanel doll.
That's got like 100,000 Swarovski crystals on it, yeah. So yeah, it's opening next week. And that's the one, if you remember 2 shows ago, that we had the actual paintings that I did for the lobby behind me.
Hanging up behind you, the commissions you did.
And now they're there.
Which you spent 14 hours painting those.
14 hours and my hand is still recovering. Yeah, and thank God. So Arturo Marino, our operations director, he worked magic to get those installed.
He did.
And then yesterday, he and Alex were there till 10 o'clock last night installing more artwork. So excited. Next week's the grand opening.
But it looks amazing. Yeah. We got a little sneak peek.
Yes, we did.
And we are so excited for not only everyone in Dallas to see, but all of you to see all over social media, because it's beautiful, and it's going to be the place to be.
Yep, and there's nothing like it.
Nothing like it in Dallas.
Dallas is ready for this.
So ready.
Okay, well, I guess should I earn my living? Do I need to?
I think you should earn your living.
Hit the old salt mine and
hit the old salt mine and get cracking.
Shovel some,
Put your shovel over your back and get moving.
All right, get ready to catch some. All right, Grace, we'll wander around.
Okay, I will.
We'll call you back in a little bit, and then when we're ready to introduce the segment you did with Matisse.
Let's do it.
I'm
wonderful? Excited. Enjoy JD Miller's painting, everyone. I know it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, let's hope so, right? All right, everybody. Well, so this is our 3rd official Reflection Friday. We do this the first Friday of every month. Now, I will, with one caveat, next month, because in January, the first Friday of the month falls on New Year's Eve. So we're gonna skip that one. And so we moved the one into December to December 18th. And the good news about that is we're going to have Tyler Shields fly in from LA, and Tyler will be here in person to show his new exhibit and do an interview and so forth. So we got a lot of fun coming up next month. But yeah, we're finally starting to get this rolling. Marcus Jeffrey, our director, who happens to be my brother, I think, Marcus, I think we got the stuff working, don't you? Heck yeah, finally. You know, this whole live world is something that it's amazing, because when this Corona deal hit and the quarantine, I mean, we had no idea what we were going to do, because at Samuel Lynne Galleries, our model for getting new people into the gallery was doing live events. Charities, we do 6 major shows a year. Last year, we did over 60 live events. And that's a lot. So when this hit, the last one we had this year, the first and last, was my annual Valentine's show in February. Then in March, shut down. So we said, what can we do in the meantime? And that's when we thought, well, let's, you know, Zoom is a thing happening now, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and all this. We said, let's try a show from the studio. So we did a couple of trial things, and it worked out pretty well. We've had a few bumps in the road, but I think we're starting to get it down. And so now we're just going to continue with this. Last month we had Ballet Dallas. Thank you, by the way, Ballet Dallas, for being here and taping a fabulous broadcast. We've had, as Grace said, we've had Brandon Boyd interviewed, and just a lot of fun things that we're going to continue to do. So, but what I'm going to do tonight, since I've got a little more time than usual, is spend a little more time painting. And so what I like to do each week is pull something out of the vault. We call the place where we store my private collection the vault, just like a bank vault. And so each week or each month, I've been pulling out a painting and doing some version of that. So for tonight, I decided to do something based on this painting. Now, a couple of things. This is, if you noticed, it's got a nice smooth background around the sides, but then there are these big, huge, 3-dimensional chunks of oil paint. And that's really the thing. It's the contrast between the smooth sides and the heavy-duty chunks in the middle that make the contrast. And so I was thinking about it today. Arturo pulled this out of the vault today. I've been looking at it, and I thought, well, should I do this gold background? And the more I thought about it, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to change it up. I am going to do a dark blue background, and we'll do that first, and then I'll come back in and start applying these beautiful chunks of living color of the oil. So why don't we get started? I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to grab some color called French ultramarine blue. I happen to have some mixed up, which is nice. And we're just going to start with that and laying it on thick on the back of the canvas. You know, I say this every week or every month, but it's kind of cool. I loved Bob Ross when I was growing up, and he was the first real painting television star, and I found it really inspirational, and I kind of feel like I'm channeling Bob Ross when we do these shows. The only thing I don't have is the hair, but hey, can't have everything. But one thing I do like to do, and I learned this from studying Leonardo da Vinci, learned a few things from him, but he wanted all the senses stimulated. So when he was working in the studio, he would hire, they didn't have recordings then, so he'd hire musicians, he'd have a quartet playing. He would always have incense. So he had sound going, and then he would burn incense and candles to get the smell, getting him inspired. And I love that. And I love incense anyway. I've done this for years. But now whenever I perform live, I always make sure we burn some incense, and it kind of cleanses the energy and also just smells really good. So first thing, start with that. We start with our incense. Let's put a little bit on the canvas here. Just let this smoke It's just like if you've ever heard of the smudging ceremonies where they clear the energy. We're just going to put a little incense around here and get it ready to go. Unlike the live performances I do on Valentine, and those, it's a very intense performance. I don't talk during it. I just paint and, I furiously do a painting. But this is more kind of the Bob Ross model. So I'm going to talk a little bit while I'm doing this. For this underpainting, I'm going to use one of my big knives, brand new, by the way. Got this at Azel Art earlier in the week. And for this, I just take big, heavy chunks of blue. And what we're going to do is just pretty quickly, we're going to fill this canvas. And what's amazing is it doesn't even look like blue right now. It's probably to the camera, it looks black, but when you see what happens, you're going to see in a little bit that this is actually blue paint. Which, another kind of cool thing, I've now been painting since 1996. And how many years? That's 24 years this year, which is kind of crazy. But the first color that I ever put on canvas was this color. It was French ultramarine blue. And of course then I didn't even know what painting knives were. I was using brushes, and the blue looked like blue when I put it on. This isn't yet, but you're going to see it come out here in a little bit. But this part is just pretty fast. Just going to fill this canvas. And then we're going to come back in and start revealing some of the canvas under there and some of that beautiful French ultramarine blue. By the way, if anybody is watching live on Cecilia, are we taking questions on YouTube or Facebook? On Facebook. If you want to tune into Facebook, if you have a question, we're totally chilled tonight. Type it in, and Cecilia is going to be watching that, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have, as long as they're not too personal. I reserve the right to plead the fifth in those areas. Man, look at how much this is taking. I'm going to need some more blue here. It's one thing too about this technique, it does take a lot of paint. And for those who haven't seen me work before, this is pure oil paint. Massive amounts of it. But it's the only way to get this effect, this 3D oil effect. So I'm going to squeeze some more out. If you want to, I don't know if you guys can get a close-up on this, but to show how much paint we use. I mean, this is a 225 milliliter tube of oil, and I'm going to use that up fast. And these metal paint rollers are lifesavers. You know what? I think I'm going to need to have 2 tubes of this, because that's a big canvas. So we'll fill this thing up. Yeah, so while I'm squeezing this paint out, next month is going to be a blast. Well, let's talk about, first of all, in the next 2 weeks, we have David Yarrow coming in town for the opening of the National Hotel. It will be open. We're having a pop-up gallery, a Samuel Lynne Galleries in the lobby from November 14th through the end of the year. So anybody that wants to go down there and see David Yarrow's new Texas, look at that. That's a lot of oil. His new Texas series, he's going to be here, and we're going to be debuting that next week. And he shot here in Dallas, and he also went down to Marfa, Texas, and did some amazing things down there. Brought the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders in for one of the things here in downtown. And then next month, December 18th, Hollywood's own Tyler Shields is going to fly in, and we're debuting an entirely new body of his work, and he will be here in the studio for Reflection Friday to tell us about it. That's going to be really cool. His new series is called Silhouette Series. And nobody's seen them yet, but they're going to see him here first, Samuel Lynne Galleries, on December 18th. Excited about that. Oh yeah. All right, this is getting close to the background being done. That's the cool thing about this technique. You don't mess around, you just fill it on, slap it on, and don't spend too much time thinking about it. Look at that, done. So we'll just touch the sides up here a little bit. The other thing for painters, when I first started painting in oil, I didn't wear these vinyl gloves. And man, you talk about your hands getting chapped because every day you'd have to clean them with turpentine. This is a godsend, having these gloves, to be able to keep it from getting too crazy, out of control. And what I'm doing is touching up the sides of the canvas. The other thing that I do that I didn't when I first started is, if you come into the gallery, you'll see that we put these canvases now in what are called floating frames. So they literally float, and then you can see it in this one. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they literally float inside the frame so you can see the edges of the canvas. So that's why I paint them now while it's easy. Okay. Yeehaw, anybody want any blue? Emily, would you like some blue?
Yes, please.
Here, come here. We'll give you all you want. All right, so peel these guys off. Now, get a fresh pair of gloves. So in this background, it's a little bit different in that I did a rubbing technique. I kept it very thin and used my hands and rags. This one, I'm going to actually cut into the blue on the edges and create a pattern, make it look almost like it's underwater flowing. And it's really cool. So Arturo, can you get a close-up of right in here? I'm going to hit right there first. I want them to see what happens. Look at that. Now that's blue, isn't it? And this is where the magic starts. What I'm doing is I'm leaving some of the dark because I want it to have variation. And it's almost like I'm trying to create like a sort of underwater flow. Yep, just like that. I love that. Yeah. So there, it's not black, it's blue. It really is. The other thing, I had a mentor when I started. Her name was Liz Richardson, and she was 86 when I started studying with her. But Liz is the one, I think we're born with different gifts. My gift really was to be a painter, but Liz is the one that taught me how to take this gift and apply the principles, the universal principles that if you apply them to art and music, they allow you to create more powerful works of art. And Liz is the one that said, vary your strokes. So if you notice, I'm not making them all the same. I'm varying the strokes to keep the interest, to keep your eye from getting bored. We don't want that, do we? No one wants a bored eye. Okay. I love this thick oil, man. Look at that. It's just really magic. Can you believe I get paid to do this? I still can't believe it. But I like it. All right, so I've I've got that, and what I'm going to do is go back in here with a rag. Let me grab a rag. And I'm going to kind of mess with it a little bit to keep it, again, to keep it really interesting. So you want it to be kind of surprising, not what you would expect. That's adding some nice depth and flow. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah. This is looking pretty cool. And I'm really not, I don't have any set pattern. I don't have anything preconceived ideas. I'm just going with what the universe says. You know what? Try this. Let's do that. This will bring the eye right there, a little circle to kind of bring the eye back around down into the canvas. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Let's do one over here too. Same thing. Oh yeah, that's getting some motion. That's what I love. Oil allows you to create not only motion but capture emotion. That's what it's all about, whether it's a great work of music or dance, like when Ballet Dallas was here. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's feeling pretty good. Okay. I think we can go with that. All right, that feels pretty good for a background. Look at that, it's way better on my gloves than my hands, although I am getting a little oil on there. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so quiet in here. We need cocktail glasses tinkling or something. There you go, I heard one. There we go, cheers. I've got to cough, so I'm going to try to turn my mic off. Yeah, there we go. I lived. It's not COVID because I already had it. Yay! What? Are you clapping? What? Are you clapping because I had COVID? Oh my God. I agree. What?
Do we not have to be quiet?
No, you don't have to be quiet. No. I mean, oh, it's fine. So yeah, there was. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that. I do see something here. I want to touch this. I want to get that's kind of bugging me. Let's get that a little bit better. That's better. And come back in. Ooh, yeah. There we go. Nice. All right. Yeah, that's it. So we're done. Oh, wait. I have to go longer, right? Yeah. All right, so here's the underpainting. Like going back to this original painting, so in this case I'm doing a blue, a little bit thicker sides, but you can see I've got a nice thick bed of oil there, and I'm going to go in here and just start putting colored chunks of oil, for lack of a better word. That's a very technical term, colored chunks of oil. You'll see that in your textbooks studying oil painting. What kind of oil do you like? Colored chunks. All right, so at this point, I'm going to clean my palettes and get ready. We're going to figure out what color to start with first. Then I'm going to show you how I mix, how I start blending the 3D oil. The other thing, again, a lot of this I do to tell artists. One of the things I learned from Liz Richardson, my mentor, which, by the way, I studied with Liz till she was 95. And God, I miss her. But she taught me so many things, but that's the one thing, you clean your knife. Keep your knife clean. and it'll treat you well. So I've used a couple of knives here. We're going to get these clean, get it ready to start putting some color on there. The other thing I like about oil and this type of oil painting is it's really fast and fluid. I've studied a lot of the masters. I've studied Picasso, studied Van Gogh, Matisse, but especially Picasso and Van Gogh. They were reputed to have painted really fast. And they'd almost have to. You think about Picasso, they say when Picasso died, he had done 80,000. Cecilia, did you know that? He had done 80,000 works of art. Now that's painting pretty quick if you divide by, he was 80-something when he died. But, and I think I might have told this before, but there's a story, because people ask me, you know, how long does a painting take? And, you know, I'll say, well, like that Valentine's painting there, that took 70 minutes. That's the one that I did last year. And they go, wow. And you're getting how much money for it? Because everybody wants to divide everything by an hour. But there's a story about Picasso. He had this American industrialist in, and he allowed him to come into his studio and maybe sell him one of his paintings. And by that time, this is in the 50s, Picasso was already the most famous painter in the world. And so he looked around and he said, well, how much is that one there? And Picasso thinks about it, he goes, $40,000 US. And at that time in the 50s, that was probably like $300,000 or $400,000. But it was Picasso. He was already the most famous and most expensive artist in the world. So the industrialist goes, okay, you know, that's reasonable. And he asked, well, how long did it take you? And Picasso thought about it again. And he said, about 2 hours. And so the industrialist is like, 2 hours? I mean, just, you know, how we are, especially in this country, he's dividing by 2 hours, like $150,000 an hour. And Picasso goes, well, 62 years and 2 hours. In other words, it took Picasso 62 years of living in life to be able to do that masterpiece in 2 hours. Didn't matter whether it was 2 hours, 2 minutes, or 2 years. It's exactly the amount of time that it took to create the work of art. And yeah, it's true. Van Gogh was the same way. He painted really fast. And I do too as well. And one of the reasons is that if you notice in this, the oil is wet. So this painting has to be done while it's wet. So I can't, you know, do it, come back a day later or hours later and, you know, think about it. I have to really go for it and finish it. And so it's just the nature of the technique. And by the way, I'm going to save this blue, not to use today, but we will put some plastic on there later, and that blue will be good for a couple of weeks because it is rather expensive, oil paint. Try not to waste it. All right. So let's mix a little bit of color. Let's mix the first color. And what I'm going to do, like again, I'm referring back to this original painting. If you notice, there's different colors in here, but there's, for instance, a green. There's a few sections of green, and then there's some sections of blue that move around the canvas. And then there's purple and this other blue and yellow and red. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create these small sections of oil with each color that I do, and I'm going to build pretty much a lattice work of oil, starting color by color and moving the canvas around. One thing I am going to do is I want a little more surface to put this 3D in. So again, while this is wet, I can do whatever I want. I'm going to extend this into the edges because I want it to be, I want to have a little more room to do this nice 3D work in the middle. It's really cool. I love oil. It's just freaking fun. Yeah, this will be good. Yeah, it's making a good border. Just make sure that looks fairly square. Doesn't have to be perfect, just fairly balanced. That's feeling better. There we go. All right. Okay, I think I'm ready to put the first color chunks on there. And I'm going to start with a fairly, kind of a, not neutral, but fairly muted color. And I'm going to go with a color that's called sap green. This is it right here. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. It's a really nice muted green, and I don't know why, but I want to do this one first. We're going to put some of these in here. And as you can tell, man, we use a lot of oil in this technique, but it's the only way to get the effect. I'm going to grab some of white here. This is titanium white for those artists out there. I'm going to get it blended in here and get some nice chunks going. The other thing too is I'm not over blending. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm leaving some nice patterns in there. So there we go. And let's just go in here. Let's put the first few chunks of green in there. No particular pattern, just whatever feels right. I'm going to put a few of these in here, sort of spread them around the canvas. Keep the eye moving. It's a beautiful color. Oh, look at that, a little bit of the white showing through. That's nice. And let's go here. All right. So again, talking about what my mentor taught me, if you notice I've moved it pretty well around the canvas. I've got it all over so the eye moves around and it keeps your interest. And let's do a little bit there. All right. See how fast that is? I can't believe how fast this is. All right, and let's go against that green. I want to pull a nice, really warm color. So I'm going to go with gold, burnt sienna. This is rich gold paint here. Really nice. I'll make some burnt sienna. And again, not over mixing it. So, oh yeah, look, see how beautiful that looks against that green. I love that. And the other thing too, Arturo, if you can see that, see how that blue got on there? Now if I put that back on there again, it would start getting muddy. So what we do is well, if I can grab a tissue, we take this, clean it off. Nice clean knife, grab some more. And we'll put it somewhere else. Like I was saying earlier, I'm going to vary my strokes. Oh yeah. I love the contrast of that rich gold paint with that beautiful earthy green. And clean the knife so we don't get muddy. And that is something I learned from my teacher, Liz. There's nowhere any books that I've ever seen anybody talk about this. But thank God the universe led me to her. And again, I'm varying the strokes. They're not all the same. Keeps it interesting. This is starting to look good. So let's just put a little bit here. All right. If somebody wants to find Grace, oh, there she is. I think I'm getting close, Grace, where I'd like to take a break and let us play the Matisse interview, and then we can come back in and we'll
That sounds great to me.
Do you have any questions so far?
I just want to know where you got your mastermind, fantastic mind from.
I didn't.
You didn't?
Nope, I was born.
You were just born and it was there.
Yeah. You know what? We're born with gifts.
That's true.
What I have done is worked my ass off and studied to be able to take that and fine-tune it.
Well, they always say talent is one thing, but perseverance is another.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, how about if I put one more right here? What do you think?
I think you should.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And one there.
I think it looks great.
So tell us, Grace, tell us a little bit about the interview. I mean, just give us a little prequel to it.
I interviewed Matisse Tash. She is one of the artists that we represent here at Samuel Lynne Galleries. She is very well known for her Buddhas. She does skulls, elephants, and also symbols. So they're very, very sparkly. They're actually studded with Swarovski crystals.
Yeah.
And it's up to 100,000 to almost 500,000 crystals. But she hand paints every single one. But what's really special about each piece is they are actually created and concepted in Bali because it's such a special place for her in terms of energy. And if you've ever been to Bali, you'd kind of understand it is almost has a sacred feeling to it.
Now, you've been there, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I used to go there a lot during my childhood when I was growing up in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So we would often go. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. So you can kind of understand.
Yeah.
And even if you see pictures of it, you can really understand why she chose it because it's so special. And I mean, the creation process with these Buddhas, I remember unpacking her new collection here at the gallery, and we'd open the box and we would just lift them up and they would just sparkle.
Yeah.
They're so special.
I remember you and Kristen and Emily were all standing around going, ah.
We were going, ah. They were so lovely to have. So we're really excited to show you guys this interview.
Okay, so Marcus, are we ready to roll the interview that Grace did with Matisse
Thank you so
Tash?
much for joining us. I know a lot of people are really excited to hear about your new collection, learn a little bit about you, and kind of just your history as an artist. So before we start off, I just wanted to ask, tell us a little bit about yourself and the start of your career as an artist.
Well, I would say my start of the career was quite unusual because I didn't start in the art business. I started with a very left brain orientated profession, which is corporate finance and private equity. And yes, I worked quite a few years in this business and also enjoyed working in it. I had a good time working for different clients on the stock exchange, and I was able to travel and do a lot of fun things. But at the same time, the opposite. Well, one might think the opposite of what I'm doing now. But at the end of the day, art, when you become more popular and when you sell pieces, also becomes a business. So it comes quite handy to be able to understand the financial aspects and the business aspects of the venture that I'm in now, which is basically to create these beautiful pieces. So that's how I started off, and at some point, I, like many other people, started questioning more of the desires and the wants that we have, the dreams that we have, and don't follow through with them sometimes, and traveled the world over quite a few years, and then I landed in Bali, and everything began from there. I started basically a small batch of small sculptures, and ever since, every single piece, the beginning of every piece starts in Bali, and I still travel as much as I can. Of course, due to the COVID this year, not at all, but as much as I can to the production site, and that's where all the molds are being created, basically.
That's amazing. I love Bali. I used to go there a lot growing up. It's a beautiful place and it has such a special energy.
Yeah.
You are very big on energy and the law of attraction. So talk to us a little bit about that. And then can you kind of talk about why you chose Bali as the conception for all of your sculptures?
Well, I don't really think I chose Bali. I think Bali chose me. You know, when you travel and you land in a place where all of a sudden you feel extremely connected to who you are, and actually you, for the first time, you find out who you are by finding out what you want, what you don't want, what your little thoughts are made of, and when you get to that place, then you realize that. That's something that you want to hold on to, and then all things just fall into place from there. I met somebody that was able to help me with the creation of the first small batch, and then one step after the other, everything evolved from there. So when you start something good, you don't finish it. You just continue, and you evolve within it, and that's why I still produce everything in Bali, and I would like to continue producing in Bali as long as I can.
And your creation process for each of these sculptures, so they start in Bali and then they are shipped to the US, correct? And you hand paint all of these and then stud them with the Swarovski crystals by hand, which is phenomenal because the detail on them is, I mean, they're so beautiful to look at in pictures, but when you see one in person, you're like, oh my gosh. It's
magical. Yeah, it's magical. A lot of people say that it's a magical experience, especially when they experience for the first time. But yes, you're right. So Bali is only the birthplace of the pieces. The mold is being created there. Then we ship it to Miami, where right now I'm residing in Miami. So the studio is in Miami, and then every piece gets hand painted. With acrylic, with oil, with different kind of techniques, and after the painting process, each piece gets crystallized by hand, one stone after the other. You're right, very very meticulous. You must be almost like a super nerd to be able to sit 8 hours in front of a piece. Yeah. No, it's discipline, but you know, everything is discipline. When you Buddhism, what is the source pretty much for everything that I started doing. That's why I chose the Buddha. Is based on the principles of discipline. Discipline with your thoughts, discipline with your intentions, discipline with the energy that you spread out. We make choices, and these choices are important. But it's important to understand that it's all choices that we make. So it has something to do with discipline at the end of the day too.
And the Buddha was your first sculpture, correct? And now you kind of, you do elephants and skulls and symbols, one of which I have both elephants and a symbol behind me. But is that why you chose the Buddha, because of the Buddhist discipline? Kind of, really touched you, and you decided to recreate that in your work?
Well, I'm not a religious person, so Buddhism for me is not really a religion. It's a way of life, a way of thinking. And if I had to squeeze my belief system into one religion, then it would be obviously Buddhism, as close as I would be able to get to it. And the Buddha is for me the symbol of the freedom seeker. It's the one that I would feel the most connected to when I would have to choose a totem that aligns with my belief system. So that's why I chose the Buddha. But I also wanted to make something more modern and contemporary out of him, and I, since during my early adolescence years, I was very much into punk rock. I decided to give him a mohawk, which is also
Yes, I
a
love it.
self-expression of the freedom fighter and the anarchist that just doesn't just you know, go with the flow, but on one hand go with the flow, but on the other hand also has the courage to go against the flow if that's what your inner belief guides you to. So it's an expression of the modern silent warrior, let's say today.
Oh, I love that. That's so special. So I just want to talk about some of your sculptures I have behind me. They are absolutely stunning to look at. We have your small, these what we affectionately call the babies, your small punk Buddhas, your symbol featuring Liechtenstein, your large punk Buddhas, another Liechtenstein, Picasso, Warhol, we have a harring elephant. What goes through your decision process? Why do you choose certain artists to be portrayed in any of these sculptures? Is it just kind of the history that they made, or is there a special connection for you with them?
Well, it's not a special connection with them. It's a special connection to the path that they created and the history that is left behind to be continued. You know, my work is all about a continuation of some sort of everything. We all continue to exist. At least that's my belief system. Our souls continue to exist, and to bring the past and the present together and to recreate, to replenish it, to recycle it. Say it, recycle as well. That's the thought behind it, and also to bring. I remember very well when I was younger, I used to love art at that time as well, of course, and visit museums and galleries, and I was always in awe for pieces that have captured the moment of time and have left such a mark in this world, and I just wanted to take those moments and put them with a certain intention behind it and with a certain meaning behind it into our modern world nowadays, and that's how it became basically a marriage. But it's mainly artists that are deceased because it's a matter of a continuation of their aura, of their energy, of what has been created, but also sometimes artists are not deceased but have left already a mark in this world that is worthwhile mentioning. So
Right.
that is the meaning behind it, pretty much.
Wow, that's so special. I love that. And I love that, you kind of all these colors and you really see the influence of all of them in this. I mean, I remember when we opened your new artworks here at the gallery, and Kristen and I, our director, we opened the boxes and we were unwrapping all the paper, and each one was so sparkly. We were like, oh, it's like a new energy coming into the gallery. It was so special to open each and every one and then place them, around the beautiful space that we have, and they just make it that much more beautiful.
Yeah, no, energy is the energy is a very important subject that you're touching, because obviously the energy of the creation is really imbued in these pieces. I take it very, I wouldn't say serious, but I take it as a high responsibility to create pieces with the intent of putting a certain energy into them so they can travel out in the world and continue on this path. So energy for me is probably the most important subject when it comes to the creation. That's why sometimes I have days where I don't paint at all. I have days where I deal only with business things, because I just don't feel that the energy is right to touch the pieces in that very moment. So I guide myself very much through energy, and I hope this translates into the pieces, and I have some really wonderful examples of clients that give me really beautiful stories of how the pieces found them, and what they mean to them because of certain things that they discover on them, certain wordings or the name of the piece that all of a sudden has a meaning that plays exactly in the very moment in their lives. And when I hear these things, it's I mean, I know these things exist. I know it's all energy. I know it's all there, but that assures, it's very reassuring and serves as a confirmation as well.
That's so special. And you know, when you have a client and they see a piece of art, it really is that kind of special, almost like a spark moment of connection with the artwork. We see it here. I mean, we definitely see it with your artworks. It's really a lovely thing because art is so individual and so very emotional. And you know, when you have that appreciation and you have a client that just it immediately touches them, it's such a special thing to witness. And we're so lucky to kind of be the middleman in that. We're bringing these beautiful pieces to our lovely clients. You're bringing the beautiful pieces to your lovely clients, and it's such a special symbiotic relationship, all of us, to witness.
Yes, no, I agree. And thank you very much for doing that. You guys are really special. I always loved working with your gallery from the very beginning. We always had a really good spark and a really good connection. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. I mean, we're very big on energy here. We love good vibes, good everything. Very big on the energy. So I wanted to also talk about, you know, you talk about the artists that you choose. They have kind of made their presence really felt in a way that they kind of stop time. They're very important. There's a historic aspect. But I really like your matryoshka dolls. And what's really cool is you can actually open them. But this one,
they stack. They are stacking dolls, basically, like the original Russian stacking dolls. Yeah, you open them and you put them into each other.
Dolls. So I'm going to open this one so people can see.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's cool.
And obviously, look at that lovely sparkle.
Yeah,
there's so much love.
Looks like you.
We're matching. So why the Jennifer? This is Jennifer, featuring Versace. Why did you choose the kind of infamous Jennifer Lopez moment? I believe it was at the VMAs in 2003 or somewhere in the early 2000s.
Well, she definitely left a mark with this dress for sure. There is no doubt about that. With the matryoshkas, you know, I just we always want to see a meaning in everything that we do, and sometimes the meaning is also just to have fun with things that we enjoy and we like. So obviously, I love fashion, like probably most other women.
Yeah.
I love high fashion. I love fashion that is carried over the course of time. That's why I do a lot of interpretations with Chanel or Valentino, because these are all designers, or were all designers that have obviously revolutionized the industry in their own ways. So that's why I choose them as inspirations. This specific dress, it's just a lovely and very sexy dress. But Versace also belongs to that group of inspirations that will basically be carried on for a long time. His story will be carried on for a long time. So everything has always to do with a continuation of some sort, and utilizing what has been already lived and transpired, and taking it and putting into a new perspective, and changing it in a way that it fits into our time and space that we live in.
I love that, and I think you can really see that in all of your artworks and sculptures. So
yeah, thank you.
When you do commissions, because I know there was a very famous commission of yours for Conor McGregor, and he had a Buddha to match his Lamborghini. What is it like creating these for, you know, these special commissions for your clients? kind of draw the energy from them, and that kind of inspires you to create the artwork in a certain way?
Honestly, it's not much different to creating pieces that go into galleries. Of course, you try to relate to the person that receives the piece, and you have a certain image that is transpired through social media, television on one hand, but on the other hand, you also kind of want to capture the energy that they carry. So he's a fighter. So there is no doubt. So he's not just a fighter professionally, but a fighter itself.
Yes.
And that the color scheme and the wordings and of course the imagery replicates that. But the process of creation is the same. I don't want to say I don't care, because it's not about caring, but it is not important to me to whom the piece goes, as long as it's a piece that just belongs to the client, that the piece has chosen to belong to, because I believe that's what it is at the end of the day. It's nothing is a coincidence. It's all a matter of aligning at the right time and the right place. So the process is the same. The meaning is the same. It doesn't matter if it's a celebrity or not. Makes no difference to me. And I hope that everybody enjoys the pieces the way that I create them, no matter of their status or no matter how they got to them.
Yes, well, they're definitely absolutely meant to be enjoyed and admired and just kind of sat there and looked at, because they are so fun and lovely and they carry such good energy with them. But Matisse, I wanted to say thank you so much for joining us today and talking to us about the process of your sculptures and telling us a little bit about yourself. We will be streaming this video again on our Reflection Fridays, so 2 days away, on our YouTube channel and Facebook page at Samuel Lynne Galleries. Matisse, have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you very much.
We can't wait to speak to you again soon.
Yes, we'll talk soon. I'm creating new pieces, completely something different. Butterflies will be following soon, so I'm immersed in the process of the creation of the new pieces, and then we'll speak about them once they're ready.
Yes, well, we can't wait to see them. I'm sure they're going to look just lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matisse. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good day. Bye.
No, stay. The artworks are so good that we drew a crowd.
Thank you all for coming tonight.
Well, yeah, do come in. Yeah.
Just kidding. Love your grace.
Love you guys. You can go. Don't worry about it. Well, everyone, I really hope that you enjoyed that interview with our artist Matisse Attash. It's fantastic to learn about all of our artists when we sit down and we have an interview with them. Every creation process for each single one of them is completely different, and it's fascinating to learn how different it is for all of them. I mean, with Tyler you have something, with Brandon you have something, with Matisse you have, they start in Bali. I mean, how wonderful is that? So it's so lovely to be able to sit and talk with them and be able to learn about it, because we're so lucky to carry the art here, and we're so lucky to, like I said in the interview, be the middleman to bring the art to our wonderful, wonderful clients that we have, and to be able to treasure their home and bring them so many beautiful things, and to always be surrounded by beautiful things here. So JD, do you think you're going to come up and join me? And AK?
Yes, I wanted to look now.
White.
Okay, so Grace, I wanted you to see this. So I just chose this color tonight. Will you look at AK's dress and just stand next to that? Even the swirls.
It's perfectly
oh my
matching.
God, this is so perfect. This is what we call reflectionism. The law of attraction. You put it out there and guess what? You get beautiful, beautiful people and things and energy. So thank you. And AK has...
knew how to dress tonight because,
Yeah, so you did well. So thank you. Look at this.
Perfect.
Well, should I finish it? Yeah. Okay, I will. All right.
We'll get out of your way.
No, you're never the way. All right, so I'm ready to go to work. I got a little bit of time.
Time to go back to the
It's about
salt
what?
mines.
It's pretty close to 8 o'clock, right?
Yes, I think
Got
it's
about 30
5
minutes.
past 8.
5 past 8. Okay, I have 25 minutes to finish the painting. I can do it.
TikTok, 'cause
All right, are you
the
ready?
clock is ticking.
Okay, so watch. Let me know when we've got about 7 minutes out,
I will.
so I can finish up, and we'll get
I'll come
everybody
and
up
join
here for
you.
the finale.
For the finale, I'll
That's
come
right.
up and join
The
you up here.
finale.
The
That's
finale.
That's the way. Are you from Texas?
Yes, just very, 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 very far down.
Yeah, I love
Just
your
keep
accent.
going, and then you get there.
Yeah,
Like about 10,000 miles in.
Okay,
You got it.
I love that southern accent. All right,
Oh, it's
Grace
so good.
Cooper, our assistant director.
Bye, everyone. Enjoy.
Yay. Yeah. All right. So, as I like to say, no rest for the wicked. Time to get back to work and finish this painting. And for those of you who are joining us a little bit later in the show, one of the things I learned from Leonardo da Vinci was surround yourself with beauty. When you're creating beauty, you want to have all the senses stimulated. So he would have musicians in, he would have, because they didn't have recordings, he'd have live musicians, he'd have like jugglers around, all kinds of stuff. I'm not kidding, all this stuff going on. And then, of course, incense, which I love. I've always loved incense, but when I saw that with him, I said, you know what? Whenever I do a live performance, it's going to start with fire. And then a beautiful wisp of scented smoke. Ah, here we go. And this will set us up for the last section of this painting. I always like to put a little bit on the painting, get that energy flowing. Ah, boy, it's been a good night. So this is our third official Reflection Friday. We actually started during quarantine with some trial programs, but we've decided to make this the first Friday of every month, Reflection Friday. And next month, we'll be a little later in the month because of the way New Year's falls. It's going to be December 18th, and Tyler Shields is going to be here. Oh yeah, so yeah. For those of you who have not met Tyler, oh my God, he's one of the most amazing people I've ever met. And he's got a whole new body of work. It's called the Silhouette Series, and we're gonna debut it here in Dallas. And Tyler is flying in from Hollywood, California to be here in person. So that's December 18th, mark it down. And what I'm gonna do right now is finish this painting. So the way it started, each week what I like to do is take something from my personal collection, we call it the vault, and kind of use that for the inspiration. Tonight, what I liked about this one, I like the smooth outer sides. In this case, I rubbed the background for this one here. I decided I felt blue, like AK tonight, so I did a thick blue background. And now we're going in and we're putting in, while it's wet, these beautiful chunks of oil. And I'm going to wrap this painting up here in the next 20 minutes. So here we go. Let's get this baby going. I am feeling, right now I'm feeling purple. And there's no set order for this. It's just whatever feels right. And that's basically the reflectionist way of painting. It's following the energy of the moment and just translating that energy. So I'm doing this one color at a time. And again, as you see, I use a lot of oil. That's why we call it 3D oil, because it's multidimensional. And I'm going to grab that. It doesn't look like purple, but it's going to look like purple in a second. There we go. And for those painters who are out there, if you notice, I don't completely blend the oil because I want it to have some variety. Let's add a little bit more in here. And we're going to bring this painting home. All right, there's a nice big chunk there. Let's do that, and that. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Also cleaning the knife after every stroke. Keeps it from getting muddy. Ah, yes. Just building the patchwork. Oh, yeah. I love this. All right. The purple looks good in there. Let's do one more, and we're going to do another one. And if you notice, we're not messing around. I'm just going to knock this thing out at the end here. Going wet and wet while the oil is wet. So let's put a little of this Arturo. Look at that. Can you grab that? This is a color called sky blue. Beautiful. Yeah, it'll be a nice contrast. We've got Arturo Marino, our operations director, on camera tonight. Thank you, Arturo. You always knock it out of the park. Marcus Jeffrey, my brother, directing. Got a great crew here. Look at how that pops. Isn't that cool? Now that's what we're talking about. That's some blue right there. God, I almost cussed. You know what I was going to say. Yeah, yep, I got to be careful. This is G-rated show. Oh yeah, man, look at that. Just adds that pop. Woo, I love this stuff. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, that's right. Like a rodeo.
I love that.
All right. Yeah, I think right there. Yeah, how did you know that? Yep, and again, moving the color around keeps things interesting. Yep. Ah, boy, it's fun because this just, I don't know how it just flows out.
Do you just feel it, maybe?
I do, yeah, I just feel it. I mean, there are things that I've learned that I'm also thinking about that sort of make it more universally powerful, but it's basically feeling. I mean, I'm just letting my gift. I mean, because since I've been a child, I live, I breathe, I see color. It flows through me, and all I'm doing is letting this flow through. And then I've studied the techniques that the masters have learned over the years will make your work more powerful. So I'm combining the two. I'm combining my natural ability with a little bit of learning. All right, let's put one more dab in here. And I'm thinking, yeah. Nope, don't need it. Let's go to another color. That's the other thing. It took me a long time to learn when to stop. And that comes with practice. You get all excited and you want to keep going, and then next thing you know, you've overpainted it.
Your painting has really evolved.
My painting has evolved?
Yes.
From what? Oh, you mean tonight?
No, like over the years. I was looking at that book of Alexis's, the J.D. Miller book.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it has. I mean, hopefully that's the goal, is to continue to evolve. I've painted now, I can't believe it. I'm not going to say it. 24 years. Life is good.
Life is good.
That's right. So let's put a little bit of contrast in here. Whoa! Now, I don't even know what color that is, but that's cool. That's the stuff you hope happens. Look at that. Oh, yeah. I'm going now on pure instinct. And just the last thing I want to do is overthink it. Oh yeah, this is looking good. Here we go. Again, varying the strokes keeps it from getting boring. Yeah, we're getting close actually. Got a few more things to do here. That's nice. Let's grab some black and white. And we're coming into the home stretch of our November Reflection Friday.
How long do they take to dry?
This painting will take about 6 weeks to dry to the touch, and then a year and a half to where it gets a real tough outer layer, and then in the thickest sections it'll be probably 50 to 150 years. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're not even sure of Van Gogh's paintings. Van Gogh, who lived 140 years ago, they're not even sure of his. Yeah, there we go. Let's put gotta do a little spark here. What is that? Yeah, it's attitude, that's right. That's what we're all about. This isn't a place for timidity? Yeah, something like that. Humidity, timidity, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're getting there. Let's add a touch of this blue here. Yes, sir.
Charlie's going to go in the other room with the camera and just show all the people that are here.
Okay. We have people here?
There he goes.
I didn't notice.
We're here for you, Didi.
All right. Getting close to the wire here. Yeah. Nope, don't want to do too much. All right. Okay, getting ready for the last touches. This is what'll bring it all home, hopefully. I have faith, though. It's going to work. All right. So again, this is wet and wet. No guts, no glory. It'll dry eventually, but 100 years. Yeah, truly, it'll be 100 years. All right. Here we go. Okay. Bam. Yeah, see, that's what sets it off. That's right. What I got to do, though, because I don't want the eye to be drawn right to the middle of the canvas, is let's pull it down right there. Yeah, there we go. This is pretty close, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, anything else? I do think I want to pop a little blue over this one section. How are we doing on time? We pretty close?
It's 8:15.
Oh, good. All right, because I can kind of look at it here a second. It's pretty darn close. Obviously, these guys are the focal point. Let's put a couple little things to bring that eye around. If I just left that and didn't bring any of it around the canvas, it would feel like it was just stuck on. We cannot have that, can we? No, we cannot have it just stuck on, no. That would be a sin. That would be. Pretty close. Man, we are so close. Let's put a little touch there. Oh yeah, there we go. And man, I think we're about done. Yeah, I think we're good. Let's do this. You guys like that?
I love it.
Yeah, feel good? All right, so I think it's time to sign it, and then we're going to bring everybody up for the finale of the show. We're going to do we're going to get our tutus, and we're going to do a group synchronized.
Hey, really?
Oh yeah, you didn't know I wore my tutu at the end of the show?
I know that.
Just kidding.
I got excited.
Uh-huh.
You want to borrow one?
Yeah, you do? Yeah. Oh no, I have my own. All right. So this is what is fun. So on these live paintings, I sign them while they're wet, and let's. I think this corner here. What do y'all think to sign? That feels good. I'm gonna go with it. Oops, I just lost my pencil tip. And this is one of those electric pencil sharpeners. You have to be a professional to have one of these. You have to be registered. All right, here we go. Sign it right in the wet oil. Oh yeah, I love this. Okay, we'll do that. And then today, because it's a live painting, I put the date. What is it's 11/6? Yeah, 11/6. 6/20. The year we all love. It's actually been a good year. I mean, in a lot of ways, a lot of growth. Any challenges? And then, last thing I do is put, got to put a dot on the eye. Something to bring the eye down there. Let's get something really cool here. That feels good. Ready? Ready. Bam. There we go. All right. Done. Fini, as they say. C'est fini, as they say in France. Yay. All right, so Grace, where's Emily? Where's our assistant? Yes, our assistant, gallery assistant. Smackdown. Arturo can't come up because he's behind the camera. Arturo, there you are. Come over here. Let's get Arturo up here. This is Arturo Marino, our operations director, videographer. Amazing. Yes, indeed. So, Emily, what do you think? How was it?
Well, I think it was fantastic. I mean, we're definitely missing our director, Kristen Rivas.
Yes.
Of course,
Kristen.
always.
Yeah.
But you did amazing.
Thank you.
As always.
Oh, thanks, and
Yeah,
she'll be
it
here.
looks so good.
Cecilia, thank you for working the computer
Yes,
tonight.
Cecilia, thank you
Amazing
so
job.
much.
Our director, Marcus Jeffrey Miller. Yeah, hello.
Yay.
We're related. You can probably tell if you guys could see
Really?
him.
I
You
couldn't
yeah.
tell.
You couldn't tell?
I couldn't tell at all.
you guys look
no,
nothing
it's
alike.
true. It's true. So guys, guess what? December 18th. Who's
December
coming?
18th, Tyler
That's
Shields.
right, in the
Mark your
house.
calendars,
That's
everyone.
Guys, Tyler Shields will be here at Samuel Lynne Galleries talking
Yeah.
about his new collection and upcoming artworks, which we are so excited to
That's
show all of
right.
you. It's going to be a fantastic show. But in the meantime, thank you for joining all of us, having your
That's
glass of whatever you've chosen for
Yes.
tonight.
And by the way, you guys, just remember, it's all a reflection of you and you and you. It's our
All of
energy
you.
and you. So thank you guys. We'll see you next month.
Thank you
Come in
so
and see us.
much.
A lot of fun things happening.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right.